and put that all the way in till it's flush.
Needles.
I hate needles.
You hate needles? Oh, okay, good thing I'm
Says
doing
the
this.
guy covered in tattoo. Are you ready, my friend?
Let's do it, man.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Shift Fire, the exploration and appreciation of military culture. I am Israel Wright, and with me, as always,
Cameron Fath, great to be here. Today, you guys are tuned into an episode of FTX, or Field Training Exercise, a series that bridges the gap between military training and civilian application. Now, we've gotten a lot of interest from our last episode about IFAC components on what can we realistically actually do on each other or practice in training. Obviously, we can't be making bullet holes in our buddies and practicing packing bullet holes.
not a tensile pneumothorax needle right into Cameron's chest.
Yeah, you can't drop a needle decompression because that would hurt my feelings and it would hurt my body. But there are some treatments that we can do on each other and training and will be doing on each other today in this episode.
Before we get going, folks, hit that subscribe button. You'll stay up on the latest with Shift Fire.
Ready to start training?
Let's do it, man. So, the first thing we have here is the NPA, nasal pharyngeal airway.
Typically, we would use these immediately on any soldier that we come up on that is unconscious because we just are gonna assume that they're gonna have trouble breathing. So the NPA is pretty much gonna be inserted in the nostril, bevel towards the septum. He's gonna push it all the way back into my throat to where he's gonna allow me to start breathing.
First things first.
First things first, safety. Because I don't know what the hell this guy has.
I don't know where I've been.
So what we got here, pretty big tube, looks pretty big to fit in my nostril, right? But it's going to, and it will every time. So before we go ahead and put this in my face, one thing you always want to do is measure it to make sure it is the right size. So to do that, Israel, go ahead and take that NPA, put it up to my ear, and make sure it goes all the way to my
Like
nose.
a neat point
to the ear, and then does that look like a good size? Oh yeah, that looks like
I think it's gonna fit. I think it's
it
gonna
looks
fit
like it was designed specifically for me. I'm gonna go ahead and lay down on the table here. And Israel, you got your packet of lube here.
Yeah, because we don't want this to be a struggle. We want it to slide in easy.
And then you look at the end of the NPA, and one side is specifically cut. So that's gonna be known as the bevel. And when you insert an NPA, always go bevel towards the septum. So most people's right nostril is gonna be bigger. Everybody has a bigger nostril.
Wait, seriously?
believe it or
Like
not.
that's the common thing? I didn't know that.
That is a very common thing. So most people's nostrils, they're actually, you have one bigger one. So
So why don't you
I'm gonna
lay
get on
across,
this table.
lay across the other way so we can see the nostril that I'm going into.
okay, so I'm gonna lay on this table. Oh, okay.
Okay, so now I'm gonna lube it up.
Just like we talked about, my septum is the center of my nose. So bevel towards the septum. You're gonna go ahead and pig nose me, make some room. Held tilt chin lift me to open my airway.
Okay.
And put that all the way in till it's flush.
All right, we got it in there. Now I would typically tape this down to make sure it stays in place.
All right, I'm good.
Good to go. Good job, Cameron.
Yeah, man.
Good job. You did it. That's your present. You can take that home.
I'm gonna
with you.
take that, I'm gonna put that right in my pocket. But one thing is the NPA, it's extremely important that you measure it and get that good size. So that was a good fit. And from my side, that is all the way sitting in the back of my throat. So my gag reflex might be going. It might wanna fight it, but that's why you put that piece of tape down. Good job, man. I'm
Thanks,
proud
man.
of you. That
Good
was
job
awesome.
on you. Way to be a
Good job.
trooper.
So let's see what else we can do on each other. The next thing we got here for you guys is gonna be the Saline Lock IV kit. So I got my tubing, I got my 500 millimeter bag, and my North American Rescue IV kit. So pretty much we would carry these all the time in our IFACs just to assist the medic, especially like I previously stated in the last video, IVs can really save a lot of time because they're time consuming, and if there's a mass casualty epidemic or there's a mass casualty situation, the medic's gonna be extremely busy and you wanna do everything you can do to help alleviate that stress.
And if there was one thing, you know, in special forces on an ODA, you do a lot of cross training, so you learn their jobs, they learn yours. If there was one thing that I remember getting the most training on, it would be doing the IVs.
I mean, my first week in regiment, they made us do IV training on each other, all the
Whoa.
privates. And then every time I got a brand new private, first week, bring in the medic, start teaching each other IVs and just drop IV and locks.
This is fluid replacement, right? Because your body, if it gets injured or maybe dehydrated too, like you need to replace the fluid that's been lost.
Yes.
Kind of keep like blood pressure, stuff like that.
Yes. So I'm gonna have 2 needles. I'm going to have my syringe, I got my blocker, my plug, got an extra catheter needle.
So the catheter is actual, like the tube through which the fluid will flow. The needle is to kind of puncture.
Absolutely. I'm not dropping that needle all the way inside of you. So what I'm really looking for is once I find a little bit of spark, and we call it the spark, which is initially the blood filling up the tube.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop it, push it a little bit more, but all I'm focused on is advancing that catheter inside your arm. Just like with the needle D, I'm not stabbing your lung all the way with that needle. So we got our rubber bands to basically stop blood fluid. Once I stick you, it might be messy if I don't have one of these, so that's gonna be great. These kits come with 2 of these. I prefer the elastic band over the Velcro band just because I got a lot more dexterity. It's a lot more malleable. And it's super easy to do a quick release on that. And then we got our sanitation wipes and your sponge to basically put it out. And my cover is gonna basically keep that needle in place and keep exterior bacteria, dirt, everything out of that injury.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
That's great. We'll leave that. I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping the bag for you. These are gonna come in 2 different parts. You have your bag and your tubing component. Now you have your tubing lock, and I already went ahead and filled the cylinder with the saline solution. All the water is at the end, just waiting to get released. One thing you don't really want to do is drop a saline lock on somebody and then put the bag and have all that air in the tube. And you go ahead and once you set that bag go, all that air is gonna get pushed into that arm, and that's something you don't want. So before you go ahead and drop it, make sure your tubing is all set and ready to go. We call it setting our conditions in the military. Same thing if you're going into a building, you always wanna make sure your conditions are set. That way you don't get up to the door and realize you don't have something you need and you end up fumbling and wasting time. So, bag and tubing is set. Maybe let me put my gloves on first.
Yeah, safety first, put the gloves on. Very important.
Okay. I'm gonna take care of you, buddy.
Thanks,
don't worry.
Man. Thanks, battle buddy.
You got it. So, before I go ahead, I wanna make sure all my components are set. I'm setting those conditions. I got my blocker here. Basically just gonna unscrew that cap there. Prep my needle real quick. Needle is prepped, good to go.
Do you like needles? Not a fan of needles? I'm pretty okay with needles.
I hate needles.
You hate needles? Oh, okay, good thing I'm doing
Says the
this.
guy covered in tattoos.
I have this weird thing where I have to watch. Some people are like, oh, I can't watch, just stick it in. And I have to watch him stick it into my arm. I have this aversion to looking away. I'm like, I have to watch it enter the skin.
That's because you're a psycho. Once I put this needle in you, friend, this blocker is gonna screw right on that catheter, which is that green part right here. And that's what's gonna go ahead and prevent the blood from continuing to spurt out of your arm. And then from there, we can go ahead and start going into attaching your tube. And it looks like that's what this catheter is for. So what we do here is we establish a quick release, which is just right there, and then give me a couple squeezes. The quick release is pretty much, I can just pull this and boom, the entire thing comes off. So, retie that again.
Go for it, go for it.
Alrighty, awesome. That is a beautiful vein. Now I got my sanitizing wipe. I'm gonna go ahead in a circular motion, just sanitize this. All right, one thing is bevel's gonna be facing up. Are you ready, my friend?
Let's do it, man.
All right. Okay, I got my blood, advance it a little bit deeper. I'm gonna go ahead and insert the catheter in his arm. Wunderbar. And I'm gonna apply a little bit of pressure to it just so he doesn't squirt blood everywhere, because there it goes.
Yeah, look at that healthy blood. Look at that Israel blood.
Then, awesome, man. Okay, and I like to do this.
This is just to kind of keep everything kind of in place, and then
place, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
There it is. You got your IV lock in place, and now I want to take your needle. Okay, I'm just gonna take this. All right, let me know if I'm causing you any pain, friend. Screw that on there. All right, oopsies.
Yeah.
And, all right, do you feel that, man?
Yep.
So how you feeling?
Feel good, man. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Liquid's flowing.
Awesome. Well, folks, we hope you guys enjoyed watching me stab Israel and watching Israel stab me.
The mutual stabbings.
We hope you guys learned something, and go ahead, I just want to reiterate, always trust the professionals. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of FTX. Go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and tell us in the comments your favorite part, or maybe some funny stories of your experiences in your life. We want to know what you guys have to say. Let us know any ideas for future videos, and thank you so much for watching. This has been Shift Fire. You want to you go for it.
Oh, sorry, I'll pass it to you, sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Hello, fire team. Welcome to Shift Fire, everybody. Oh, sorry. I think I enjoyed this more than you enjoyed your nasal pharyngeal.
Probably. Ready to start training?
Let's do it, Bubba.
Bubba.